who exactly gave Steele that guy's name? Oh. Stay tuned, folks. John Brennan right now is like sweat coming down his back. But let's go to this National Review piece, which none of this will surprise you if you're a regular listener. But again, now the things I've been telling you for 3.5 years are now confirmed to be true. Ding, 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 ding. National Review. Zachary Evans. FBI documents. Primary subsource for Steele was a suspected Russian agent and a, quote, threat to national security. What? So just to be clear, as I've been telling you again for 3.5 years, the FBI used a PP hoax to spy on the Trump team. The PP hoax dossier was allegedly written by a man named Christopher Steele and more. Steele says, I got this information from a source. And now we find out, thanks to declassified documents by the Attorney General, that the source Steele's claiming to use for his information was a, quote, threat to national security and a potential Russian spy. Oh, my. Oh, my. So we were told what again? By these ridiculous jokers. Do you still have the CNN Sucks video? I may need to play it. Hold on. Just hold on. I don't mean to throw Paula into a tizzy here. We keep our production team low here precisely because we don't want to get involved in like another, like this Joe Rogan disaster that's happening now, which I hope to get to in a little bit. I like people around me I can trust. Shocker, running a business, right? But the media's been telling you what? Trump was colluding with suspected Russian agents to interfere and win the 2016 election. That's what we've been told. Well, we know that's all like PP hoax stuff. That's all simple lies and fairy tales, absurd fables, outrageous stories. Yet the media, the morons in the media, promoted this thing for years. But now we find out what? That not only was that story not true, but in fact, it appears that the FBI and others were colluding with an actual Russian agent to spy on the Trump team. You can't make this up. Let's go to the National Review. What are you laughing about? National Review piece. So we've got some more declassified information. This happened on Friday. Again, sorry I couldn't bring it to you right away, but you deserve a thorough going through of this. So FBI agents on the Crossfire Hurricane probe into the Trump team, who investigated alleged contacts between the Trump campaign and Russian intelligence, were aware that the primary subsource for Steele was a suspected Russian spy by December of 2016? Huh? However, the FBI did not share this information with the FISA court in their applications for warrants against Page. Gosh, that sounds awfully odd. According to footnote 334 of the Inspector General report, quote, the primary subsource was the subject of an FBI counterintelligence investigation from 2009 to 2011 that assessed his documented contacts with suspected Russian intelligence officers? Oh my God. I'm getting a headache with this stuff. Paula hates the Spygate stuff. She can't stand it. This is good? No, she likes this. To get the Spygate stuff past the Paula editorial board control is a lot because she sometimes feels like it gets overly complicated. This is not hard to this is how much easier does it get? This can't get any simpler. The FBI and the, I want to say something else, canoes, I use this word often, I shouldn't, I know, in the media told us what? Trump was colluding with Russian agents. That, of course, fell apart and was completely made up. But now we know for a fact that the source the FBI was using through Christopher Steele to get their information about Trump was, in fact, a Russian agent that the FBI themselves were investigating as a threat to national security. Where's the media coverage on it? Oh, the media is covering the fact that Donald Trump's businesses lost money and they didn't pay profits on money they didn't make. Stunner. That's the bombshell, not this. The United States government's premier law enforcement agency, the FBI, used information from a Russian spy to spy on a presidential candidate. Let me say that again for the liberal lunatics and media morons watching this. The FBI used information from a Russian spy. They investigated themselves to spy on the president of the United States. Vladimir Putin has to be slapping his knee right now, laughing his ass off about how stupid our media and upper level of the FBI was for falling for this and promoting this. Again, you haven't been wasting your time here. I knew this a long time ago. I had to be very careful what I told you. Not because I was hiding anything from you, but because I can't burn sources either. Again, go back and read my 3 books on this now. By the way, my book, Follow the Money, technically doesn't come out till next Tuesday. My new book, but if you order it now, Follow the Money, which has a extensive chapter on the relationship with these FBI guys and shady sources, it'll probably get to you before the release date. Check it out, Amazon, Barnes & Noble. I'm really trying to get it to number 1. America needs to know this story. But Exonerated, Spygate, get the trilogy. They cover this whole thing. I'm not sure I'm going to write another book ever. I'm not one of these guys who wants to pump out a book every year, but this case is too important. I warned you about this 3 years ago, that the real people colluding with the Russians were the FBI and the Clinton campaign. And now we know for sure. It's irrefutable. The FBI was investigating the source they were using as a Russian spy and a threat to national security. Threat to national security is their words. So either the FBI doesn't know who a Russian spy or a threat to national security is, and therefore we're investigating the wrong guy, which no one's alleged, or they were and used this information anyway, thinking he was a Russian spy and threat to national security because they hated Trump that much. Oh my gosh, this is frustrating. And yet we're called the conspiracy theorists by liberal lunatic media idiots like CNN who got this wrong the whole time. Oh, that CNN video is priceless. It would have been so much better if the bomb shelter constructors next door weren't so loud at the time. Remember what I told you? This is going to be the next shoe to drop, by the way. Mark it. And to all you folks who are really interested in this Spygate case, so now we know the FBI colluded with a Russian spy through Steele. Okay, we know that. It's just a fact to spy on Trump. I'm really sorry if that bothers you. But what's the next shoe to drop? How exactly did Christopher Steele, who is the alleged author of the PP hoax dossier, Paul, I need you to track this. If this doesn't make sense, you need to give me a little hand signal. How did Christopher Steele connect with the primary subsource, who we now know is being investigated as a Russian spy and a, quote, threat to national security? What's the biggest scandal of Spygate? They say, oh, they spied on President Trump. That's not even the biggest one. It's big, but it's not the biggest. The biggest scandal is how they managed to do it. This was always the PP hoax and all the other stuff. Always fake information. Always. It was all made up. The Trump collusion thing was always made up. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me. It was always made up. There is not it's just made up. Stop looking for it. It's made up. The information was always made up. But to give it a patina, an air of this could be potentially true, to give it a crust of truthfulness, they attributed this made up fake information to very real people listen, Paul, listen. They attributed the fake information, Steele and others, to very real people. And those people may have been Russian spies. How did Steele make that connection and know to attribute the information to a guy being investigated as a Russian spy, to give it some fake air of authenticity. Funny FaceTime. Who exactly gave Steele that guy's name? Oh. Stay tuned, folks. John Brennan right now is like sweat coming down his back. Who exactly did that? What's the real Spygate scandal? Yes, they spied. Yes, you paid for it through Pentagon contracts with your tax dollars. You paid to spy on the guy you picked for president. That's right. Your tax dollars. Sorry, but it happened. It was always fake information attributed to very real names. And how those names became in the possession of others to attribute the fake information to is the real scandal.
You just heard Dan Bongino.